Hi everyone, I'm back. I'm just making sure that everything is shared, that it's easy to get to. Yeah, if you're here and you're watching, leave me a comment, say hello, welcome. This week we are in my parents' basement, so that's kind of fun. A little bit different setup. And hopefully in 2 weeks when we're back, we'll be live from the Art Center. Awesome. Okay, so today's class we are going to be working on creating a creative vision board. And so this might be something that you've done in the past or you've heard about or seen before, and I just wanted to walk you through a couple steps of how to create a vision board. I think this is a great activity for kids starting like middle to late elementary school, all the way through high school. Adults can do it. You're gonna see mine that I'm actually gonna use this year. And yeah, I'm really excited to walk you through this process. Now this video, you can do it step by step with me, but I think it really takes some thinking time to come up with ideas. It'll take a little bit of searching time to find like images or things like that that you want to use. So this would be a great one to watch, see the process, and then go back and watch again. Hi, Hugh. My 3-year-old's watching too, so that's awesome. And I'll talk too about how we can translate this into the younger groups like toddlers, what I've been using with my son who's 3, in a sense of a vision board, just to keep them on track. So thanks for watching. Here we'll go step by step, and yeah, I hope that you guys get out of this as much as I've been getting out of this while creating one. So this morning we're gonna start off by thinking about our previous year. So I know that it can be quite a devastating year for some people. Like my family, we went through big changes with our employment and things like that, and moving and selling our home, and we've done a lot of really big changes. Some of them exciting, some of them terrifying. You know, we've been through a lot. So it was really interesting to sit down and actually think through the positives of my last year, and I thought it really put me in a good headspace. So I'm going to talk through a few questions that I'd like you to brainstorm, to write down, and this would be a good place after hearing the questions to like stop and pause the video if you're doing a rewatch of this one, and like taking the time to go through and writing those answers down, and really, you know, not rushing. So I'm gonna kind of quickly go through the questions, but again, I invite you to rewatch the video, take the time to fill out question by question, and really do some reflecting. I think that's a great way to start. So the first thing that you want to think about is 2020 and your accomplishments from that year. You could be like, oh man, that's a lot to think about, like I was. And I was sitting there going like, what kind of accomplishments do I have? What am I really proud of? Maybe there was a really special day. So I started making a list. It could be things like maybe you started a new job, or maybe you started a hobby or reconnected with that hobby. Maybe you spent more time together as a family and that was a success for you. My group of friends started a Dungeons and Dragons group, and we now play virtually every week, and it's been a lot of fun and really nerdy, but I love it. I'm sitting here staring at our dice bags and excited because we're playing again tomorrow night. Other things, you know, Tom and I finished working on and we sold our first home. Like that was quite an experience, but I think it was a huge accomplishment now that it's all said and done. We did more cooking, so you know, it doesn't have to be these big huge accomplishments, but they can be small little things that you really appreciated from the year. So think about how you've grown as a person. Maybe you've just gotten more productive. Maybe you transitioned to working from home and all the bumps and things like that. If you're helping your child go through and do this, questions to ask them would be something like, maybe like, what was your favorite subject that you worked on last year? Or what was your favorite thing we did this summer? Or what's something that makes you feel really good inside? So taking those questions and scaling them back to easier concepts for kids is really important too. Having them reflect and say like, oh, I really felt good when I, you know, ran around the house 10 times that one day because we did an outdoor obstacle course, because maybe you need your kids to get outside. Or maybe it's something like, oh, I really loved when we were virtual learning, like this part where we got to discuss things together because I actually spoke out and I felt more comfortable speaking out. So really guiding your child to find those successes, I think, is so important, especially after the year that we've had. Okay, so that's step 1, is writing down your accomplishments from the previous year. Extra things to think about when you're doing this. Maybe what's something you're most proud of? what ideas or dreams turned into a reality, or what new dreams or new ideas, did you come up with? What new planning ideas did you come up with this year? Did you have any meaningful relationships that got stronger this year? That's something too I wrote down a lot about. My husband Tom and I, we really got closer as a couple this year. Maybe what skills did you improve on? And what things brought you happiness? Things, people, ideas. Maybe you read a really good book. Write it down. Okay, the brainstorming, there's no wrong ideas in brainstorming. Just write it all down. I'll show you. I have a ton of stuff written on my paper too. Okay, so that's step 2, right? So what are you proud of? What accomplishments did you have? Maybe a little bit further detail of what things that you liked. And then you want to go through and start thinking about what your bucket list is for 2021, which is so weird to say, 2021. So a few things that I am really excited to try. We've been cooking more at home. And so it's always been on my bucket list to make homemade pasta. And I don't know how hard it is. I don't know how easy it is, but I'm going to make homemade pasta. I've made homemade sauce before. So now I just want to make the whole thing start to finish from scratch. And I have a few other things too on my bucket list. I want to bike 2,500 miles. We just got an exercise bike. I got to get my extra energy out somehow. It's really good for us mentally, Tom and I both, to get our bodies moving. We feel better that way. So I put a number on it this year instead of doing a weight loss goal, which if that's you, awesome, go get it. But I'm going to bike a certain amount of miles, I hope. Here's the deal though. I set this goal looking at my bike and my distance and my average, and I was like, okay, this is really obtainable, until I realized that my bike was counting kilometers or kilometers, not miles. So actually I was biking half of the miles that I thought I was. So it's now kind of a tricky goal, a heavy goal, but I'm still gonna go for it. It's already printed, it's already part of my vision board. I'm gonna go for it. Okay, so accomplishments, some sub-accomplishments or connections that you made, then a bucket list. What do you want to do this year? Big, small, maybe it's read 6 books, a book every 2 months. You make your, kind of your resolutions. Okay, this is a great, I'm going to time out for a second. If you're working with a kid, this is a great way too to see what they really want to do this year, what's important to them, and maybe you can work that into a family goal. So Hugh has been asking us to go to the zoo a million times. So we definitely are going to plan to go to a zoo, be safe about it. We have to get him to wear his mask, which is a big challenge for us right now. And so we're just working really on those little baby steps to reach that big goal. So that's another way you can involve your kids and help them create their own board for themselves. Okay, the next step is areas of improvement. Okay, and I found a cool page that had a few different categories. So one would be emotional. What's your emotional area of improvement? For me, it's more regular self-care. And then I wrote the pitcher idea. You can't pour into someone's cup until your pitcher's full, right? So making sure I'm recharging, refilling, so then I can help my family, my friends, my loved ones more. Okay, so maybe spiritually you have a goal. Socially, maybe there's a physical or health related goal. Occupational, intellectual, financial, and then environmental. So we just moved in with my parents. We're getting ready to try to buy a house this next year. So that's a huge goal, but I don't even want to show you the basement right now. I cleared out a hole because everything's all over the place. So for example, my environmental goal is for all of our things to have a home. So I know where everything is, so my brain is a little less cluttered. So again, you want to write down one for each of those, okay? Then finally, you want to gather some ideas for affirmations, maybe some quotes you really like, some images that are really inspiring to you, or maybe that deal with your resolutions. So a few of mine would be saying yes without fear and no without guilt. That's something that I heard the other day, and I just have latched onto that. Saying yes without fear and saying no without guilt. Really protecting your time and not being afraid to go after what you want to go after. My mantra this year, or my aspiration this year, is to be joyfully strong. So choosing joy versus choosing judgment or frustration or anxiety. You know, some of those things you can't help but choose. But I really want to focus on, when I have the ability to choose my emotion, it's going to be joy. And joyfully strong, I want to just feel mentally and physically strong this year. Okay, and then again, like, gotta fill the pitcher before filling someone else's cups, right? You gotta fill yourself first, and then you're able to help other people. And yeah, some biking, some other things like that. So, great. So that's like that brainstorming part. I know I just talked a whole bunch at you, and you're like, where is the art, Tricia? We're getting there, I promise. But again, this is where we need to like do that brainstorming, do that hard work, to go back, reflect on our past year, to think about what we want to get to. So again, I highly suggest, if you're rewatching this, pause it here, go back, do all that work, and then get ready for the art. Okay, so when we're making our vision board, we've done the background, we have ideas, we've written it down, we see in our mind what we want to do. Then we start gathering images, okay, gathering phrases, and creating what is going to be impactful to us, okay? That could be, I've seen all different kinds. That could be a collage of just different pictures and words and phrases that you see. For me, that's too kind of muddled. It's a little bit too confusing, so I want something a little bit more targeted. I've seen other people take, let me just grab this here, a small cork board, and maybe they've done like different boxes for different things, and they write down those goals. And maybe they put up a picture, it's a little bit more controlled area, it's a little bit more straight lined. If that's your style, awesome, go for it. Right now I have a new family schedule pinned to ours, but this is something too that you can definitely start with a child if you're doing this, and help them kind of manipulate those objects and things. Mine today is a little bit more whimsical because that's just who I am. I'm really liking the rainbow analogy, so I made a glittery rainbow. And yeah, so this is what I'm going to start with today. I'm going to see if I can get this taped up here. Thank you, Hugh, for letting me borrow your whiteboard this morning. I'm going to tape this up here so I can show you how I'm going to design my vision board. So you want to, the first step is really deciding what kind of background you're going to use. So I'm going to end up taping this on our basement wall next to our exercise bike so I can see it when I'm riding, because I think my biggest goal is hitting 2,500 miles on that bike. So I'm really going to be spending quite a bit of time on my bike this year. So I want to see it. I want to make sure that I see it. So this, I just cut out freehand a rainbow. I also cut out some clouds, which I have designed to do my two biggest goals. So for myself, again, I have one cloud that is going to be the 2,500, not 25,000, good grief, 2,500 miles. Okay, and I'll explain that in a little bit. And then I have my second cloud here that I'm going to design, and I said I'm going to wash away some of my debt. So I don't think I can get rid of all of my debt this year, but I'm going to wash away debt, and I'll show you how I'm designing that in a little bit. So if you're helping yourself, if you're helping your child, plan this, right? Think about maybe something that's just really inspiring to them. So again, I love color, I love sparkles, that's just me. So I pick something colorful and sparkly. So again, that first step after you've done the background work is deciding what your background, how you're going to design your vision board, where it's going to go, and make sure that the sizing is appropriate there. Okay, once you've done that, you want to start looking for images, maybe printing off some stuff from the internet, maybe looking in a magazine. So we had talked about potentially taking a family trip depending on how the World Health Emergency is going. So I found this great phrase that said "on the road." So I would attach that somewhere up here. Gonna need to. So maybe I would put that up here. I also, again, I said I want to make homemade pasta, so I found a little pasta bowl. So I'm going to glue that on as well. Okay, so just some like bigger goals that I have, some things that I'm just really, really hoping to do. I'm gonna put those on. I printed off my mantra and like my favorite phrase of the year. And I think it's really good if you're doing some sort of like paper design like this to back it with some cardstock versus just plain white paper. It gives it a little bit of a stronger edge, a stronger border, and it won't curl as quickly. It adds some color if you're a color person. So it just gives it a little bit of strength. So I just cut out Joyfully Strong. I'm gonna add that to my rainbow as well. And I'm using Elmer's glue. I also used my washable school glue stick. It's purple, I love it. When I was gluing my paper onto the cardstock, just so it would lay a little flatter. Because my background is glitter though, I need to use the school glue. So I'm gonna put Joyfully Strong right here, and hopefully that helps my rainbow stay together a little bit. The glitter on glitter stickage is not going super well. I'm gonna try to tape this guy back up. All right, there we go. Joyfully Strong, great. I have yes without fear, no without guilt. Now, something that I think is really, really important when creating and starting to compile your vision board is having things that you can manipulate. And what I mean by that is you're going to use your vision board more if you're keeping track of something physically on your board. So for example, one of my clouds has my 2,500 miles and a bike, okay? And then you see there's a whole bunch of room here. I like the pot of gold analogy that goes with the rainbow. So, my goodness, too much coffee this morning. I'm going to just tape this here for now, so you guys get the idea, okay? When I add that here, every time I hit 100 miles, I'm gonna add either a star or maybe a gold coin, and I'm going to start filling that up here so I can track my 2,500 miles. Does that make sense? So I'm physically adding to my board. I'm physically changing things on my board. So it becomes useful. I'm checking in with it more. I can visually see my progress. And it's kind of like a fun way to do that. My other cloud is going to be my other manipulative part. The word manipulative gets a bad rap. I mean it in like being able to manipulate tactilely. Okay? And so this one, this is called Wash My Debt Away. We have, you know, a little credit card debt that I would like to see gone, and we've been working really hard on creating a budget, which with how this year has gone has really helped us as a family. Oh, my rainbow keeps falling. That's okay. I printed out an umbrella. I'll show you here how I'm going to track this one. I printed out an umbrella. Again, I'm backing it on that cardstock so it's a little bit stronger. And then I'm going to add raindrops to this side. And I'll show you why. So I have Wash My Debt Away. I'm gonna add a cute little umbrella because I think that's fun. Okay, and I'm gonna add this to my other side. Once I get my rainbow, I'm gonna add some more tape to my rainbow. See if I can get it to stay up. This side and this side. I'm gonna have to think of a different glue. I do have my Mod Podge here with me too. I might go ahead and like Mod Podge over this so it starts staying together a little bit more because all my edges are kind of curling up. This glitter cardstock is so pretty, but just not working for me today. So I'm just gonna keep taping this up, and again, once it's all done and I have all my things kind of together, I'll add a picture and I'll add it to the replay too because I'll finish this today. And then you guys can have a quick peek of what my finished product looks like. Okay, so I'm taping this on. So I have two clouds, and both are going to be in a place that I can actually manipulate them. So my idea was to write down a certain dollar amount on my raindrops and put my raindrops in this cloud. Okay, see if I can get them to stick. And the idea being, maybe I'll start with 12 raindrops. Maybe I'll start with, I don't know. We'll see how much my dollar amount ends up being. Okay, as my debt decreases, I can take a raindrop away. Okay, so as the year goes on and as I start decreasing our credit card debt, I can manipulate, I can take off my raindrops, and it becomes less and less rainy on that side. And at the same time, I'm biking more miles, and the gold, right, and the shiny, shiny gold is increasing over here. So I think that's a really, really important part with your vision board, is to find ways that you can work with it throughout the year, okay? I have a little 2021 here that I'm going to add somewhere, maybe up in here. So I'm just going to have a little fun while you guys are still on and add a few more things to my vision board. 2021, the year is important. Again, I have my mantra up here, joyfully strong. What else do I have around? Ooh, one of my goals is to start a podcast. We'll see, we'll see. Again, yes without fear, no without guilt. I will cut that out and I'll put that somewhere on here too. Okay, so again, go through our steps. We're gonna do our background writing. Okay, pause, listen to the questions, do our background writing. So again, if you missed that part of the video, go back, rewatch, and take the time, slowly go through it. I breezed through a bunch of those questions, but slowly go through it and write down your ideas. Then you're going to sit and brainstorm about what you actually want on your vision board, what's important. Then you're going to create your background. Again, I picked a rainbow. I like the sparkles, I like the colors. Other ideas would be something more like a cork board or a tag board. Maybe you have a big mirror that you want to do this on. Maybe it's a closet door. Maybe if your child's heading back to school, I don't know what the rules are on this, or maybe they're still at school, to do it inside their locker so they can see it every day or in between classes. I used to do that when I was in middle and high school. I always had my locker filled with positive things. So you want to come up with the background. You're going to want to think about where it goes. Then you're going to want to start putting it together, including things that you're manipulating. For example, biking 2,500 miles. Every 100 miles, I'm going to add a gold coin to my pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. With my debt, washing away that debt, I'm going to start with a whole bunch of raindrops. And when I get my credit card under a certain dollar amount, I'm going to pull a raindrop off and crush that debt. Okay, so, yeah, I can't wait to see your vision boards. I hope you guys share. I hope you guys like today's little class. Again, rewatch, work with your kids, encourage them to find smaller ways. With Hugh, I promised my Hugh story. With Hugh, we're potty training. So we got a little boy running around in nothing but a t-shirt upstairs, and it is going, and we are really proud of him. But for Christmas, he got a chore chart, and on it, it's got little positive stickers. So when he does certain things that he really doesn't want to do during the day, he gets those stickers. It's a positive affirmation. It's a way to say good job. And, you know, it's kind of like the basics or the baby start of a vision board, right? Because he can see it. He knows which each line is. I ask him for an example, like, how did you share? And he'll tell me how he shared with his little sister. So it's a great way for him to be, like, reflecting on his day and being proud of himself for doing it too, even if it's something that he really doesn't want to do. So there are great ways that you can scale this to however it works for your child. You know, encourage them to pick a goal that's obtainable, to pick something that makes them feel good versus like getting an A. Maybe it's like, I want to feel really proud of my math progress this year. Math was my hard subject in school. And so getting an A would have been really hard for me, but feeling proud of myself because I turned my homework in on time or I did the extra practice, things that are obtainable are really great to encourage kids to get to. And for us too, right? This is, now that I know I've been counting kilometers, this is going to be a hard goal, but I'm really going to push myself because I want it. And yeah, so here we are, end of the class. We are going to be live with live art every first and third Wednesday of the month. So not next week, but the week after, I'll be back with another project. Hopefully I'll be back at the PAC out of quarantine. And yeah, thank you guys. Happy 2021. It's great to see you. Thank you for all of you who watched today. And don't forget, you can always rewatch this episode on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. So thanks all. We'll see you next time.